Motion.
All right, we're live.
Why?
Things on.
I think they had said it that way.
Yeah, there was some issue with the video and something was not working around you.
I was like, having trouble back up, just in case. Oh, let's hear the audio. Well, there's no one here. I can recognize it.
Call the Board of Zoning Appeals meeting for Berlin Township to order. Ask everyone to silence your cell phones. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please go on roll.
Sure. Don Sutton,
Here.
Jason Acevedo,
Here.
Brad Cook,
Here.
Michelle Cook,
Here.
Quinn Martin,
Here.
Jessica Kingsley.
Here.
Everybody?
Here.
Oh, Larry Harmon.
Doesn't look like we have anyone to sign in. If someone would have to come in, please remind me to have them sign in. Could the zoning clerk please verify that the meeting was advertised?
Yes, it was. It was continued from our last hearing. It was also advertised on December 23rd, 2025 in on the township Facebook page and also on the website.
Thank you. I would ask if the board has had an opportunity to review the meeting minutes from November 11th, 2025.
Yes.
So could I have a motion to accept those minutes?
Make a motion to approve the BZA minutes from 11/11/2025.
In a second?
Mr. Acevedo,
Yes.
Mrs. Cook,
Yes.
Mr. Cook,
Yes.
Mr. Sutton,
Yes.
Mr. Markin.
Yes.
Thank you. We're back here this afternoon now to hear continuation of BZA 25-002 and BZA 25-003 filed by Tower Co. 2013 LLC, 5000 Valleystone Drive, Suite 200, Cary, North Carolina 27519. The applicant has requested a variance for the tower height and conditional use permit for the placement of a telecommunications tower. The parcel in question is 2502 Hyatt Road, Delaware, Ohio 43015. 4183-200-1001-001. The parcel is plus or minus 44.98 acres. We've heard all of the testimony from the applicant. So as we stated in the last meeting, there will be no more testimony, just a few questions or comments I wanted to go over. There was a question raised at the last meeting about a witness coming before the board. And I just go through some Board of Zoning Appeals overviews that I reviewed in preparation. And Section 2, creation and function of the Board of Zoning Appeals. Number 4 states that the BZA may compel the attendance of witnesses. So I would encourage the board to feel that they can take the testimony of the witness that the township did hire on our behalf as a witness that we did compel to come before the board. So you can consider that testimony that was given, even though our applicant was not in favor of that. So what we're here to do.
And if I may add, Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to clarify that for the board as well. If you recall, I believe it was in the meeting on December the 16th, when we were here, I can't remember exactly, I may have the date wrong, but we actually discussed when you guys adopted a motion to send the applications to Mr. Arcuri, there was a discussion with the applicant's counsel on the record, wherein his appearance was discussed. The applicant's legal counsel, the same one who objected without even hearing from Mr. Arcuri, that legal counsel stated on the record his concern that he just wanted to ensure that Mr. Arcuri was going to perform an independent review based upon the applications that have been submitted, and that he was not going to engage in advocacy for or against the proposed tower. And as you may recall from the testimony, and despite it, with that assurance, he did not object to the board forwarding the information to Mr. Arcuri for review and for testimony before this board. And so when Mr. Arcuri appeared, as you may recall, the applicant's legal counsel objected without even hearing from Mr. Arcuri after not objecting to his appearance at the prior hearings on this matter. And you heard the testimony from Mr. Arcuri that he was not appearing to advocate for or against the proposed tower. He was performing an independent review to see if anything had changed from his prior review of the proposed telecommunications tower, and that he was free to provide whatever information, analysis, evaluations to this board that he deemed reasonable based upon his review. So, to the extent you have any additional questions related to that, I'll be happy to try to answer those.
Thank you. So the proposed conditional use that we're here today to hear is the setback from the property line. The applicant seeks a variance of 199 feet from the setback from the property line. The required setback is the height of the tower plus 25%, which puts it right at about 237 feet. Currently, the tower is 45 feet north of the property line. This requirement has been met for east and west, but in the south boundaries. And then the variance request, tower height, the applicant seeks a variance of 50 feet. The required height is 145 feet. The tower is constructed at 195 feet. I think there's even some more questions on that because currently there's one antenna. I believe our zoning code states 100 feet for one antenna. Now, but I think it has been constructed so that there could be 4 antennas, which would then bring it up to the 145 feet. So that's what we're here today to decide. I would ask that the board go into a private deliberation to discuss some items, and we will return in just a few minutes.
Pause now. You just, there you go. Okay.
We will continue with our general meeting here. Ask Chris if you would distribute documents you'd like us to review.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, before I do that, I just want, for purposes of the record, I just want to summarize the exhibits, just so there's a clear, there's a little discrepancy in possibly the transcript of the most recent meeting. So,
Let's wait till Quinn gets back. If you could, okay. Go ahead. Can you distribute the documents first?
Yeah,
So we
sure.
can start to review those.
yeah, so, with respect to the issues that I had raised and discussed with the applicant during the hearings, I went ahead and prepared some preliminary findings of fact and conclusions with all respect to those issues for the board's consideration. So I prepared one set for both BZA, application BZA 25-002 and one for application BZA 25-003. So with that, what I need to do. Yeah, one each. And so, if you guys can take a few minutes and read through those.
Is this in exhibit?
Not yet. There is a way.
Extra copy?
It's-
I'd ask board members to take a few minutes and review these documents. And let me know.
And while you guys are reading that, I just want to note for purposes of the record, just the exhibits from the prior meeting, clarify, make sure that they are appropriately identified. So exhibit U, BZA-U is the report prepared by Dominic Arcuri. He testified about. Exhibit B is the testimony of Persian Giannis at the preliminary injunction hearing in federal court between Tower Co. And Berlin Township. Exhibit W is the testimony of Mr. Catalini, who also appeared to testify on behalf of Tower Co. at the preliminary injunction hearing. Exhibit X is the deposition transcript of Jeff Gordon, dated November 1st, 2022, volume 1. And then the final exhibit is exhibit Y, which is the deposition transcript of Dwayne Matlack, volume 1, dated October 20th, 2017.
Chris, do we need to enter these documents as exhibits?
I would once the board is fine with what they say. So that's, I want to go through and their comments, so make sure everyone has their any discussions and changes they would like to make.
Any questions from the board on these documents?
And if I may, I just want to kind of summarize what each one of these says for each of the applications. So for case number BZA 25-002, under these proposed findings, effect, and conclusions of law, the first section addresses the current status and need for the request for the conditional use permit, and it just documents that there is a telecommunications tower that is currently operating in violation of the Roanoke Township zoning resolution, and that there's a need for a
Chris, can we just go ahead and enter these into?
if that's the will of the chair.
Yes, I think we've all had a chance to read through it and.
The only thing that I would do is just, I want to make very clear that, at least on these findings of fact and conclusions of law do not address these specifics for either section 3207B of the Roanoke Township zoning resolution or 32.04B, and that it makes specific reference to the transcript of today's proceedings to address those specifics and what the board ultimately decides on those issues. So I just want to make sure we note that for the record so that any party who reads the transcript is aware that the transcript from today is part of these findings of fact and conclusions of law.
So can we enter decision of the board of zoning appeals, BZA 25-002 as an exhibit, and I'm not sure what number we're on.
We are at Exhibit Z, BZA Z. So I would do for decision of the Board of Zoning Appeals, BZA 25-002 as BZA Exhibit BZA Z. And then decision of the Board of Zoning Appeals, proposed findings of fact and conclusions of law, BZA 25-003 as exhibit BZA-AA.
Thank you. I'd like to start with BZA 25-002, conditional use. In our zoning code 32.07D, decision, the board shall make its decision within a reasonable time after the hearing. If the board in its discretion approves the conditional use permit, it may impose such conditions, safeguards, and restrictions as deemed necessary to ensure that the use will be conducted in the best interest of the zoning district. In addition to the specific requirements for conditional use specified in the district regulation, the proposed conditional use shall meet all of the following requirements. The use is in fact a conditional use as established under the district regulations. 2, the use is of such nature and will be designed, constructed, operated, maintained so as to be harmonious and appropriate with the existing or intended character of the general vicinity, and that such use will not change the essential character of the same area. 3, the use will not pose a discernible hazard to existing and adjacent uses. 4, the use will be served adequately by essential public facilities and services such as highway, streets, police and fire protection, drainage structures, refuse disposal, water, sewers, and schools. 5, the use will not involve uses, activities, processes, materials, equipment, and conditions of operation that will be detrimental to any person, property, or general welfare by reason of excessive production of traffic, noise, smoke, fumes, glare, or odor. 6, the use will be consistent with the objectives of the zoning resolution and a comprehensive land use plan. E, failure to comply with the terms of conditional use permit shall result in a zoning violation. No conditional use shall be implemented until permit or compliance is issued by the zoning inspector. So again, to summarize the conditional use, the applicant has built a tower 45 feet from the property line, and currently seeking a 199-foot setback from the property line as required. I would ask if there's additional discussion over what was discussed in private deliberation. If not, the chair moves that this conditional use be approved under the conditions of the applicants involved obtaining either a lot consolidation or changing of the lot property lines to be within our zoning code of the setbacks that are required. Any additional information from our attorney that needs to be in that motion?
As to the conditional use, so they've asked for, so it's kind of talking about both, right? So, so they've requested a tower at 199 feet. So would the motion be to approve the tower at 199 feet, or?
We're just talking about conditional use on the lot line setbacks.
Okay.
The area variance will have a second motion. We're strictly talking about the placement of the tower for this motion.
Yeah, and so that's where I'm a little.
So my motion is
because if you approve the conditional use permit and then move on to the variances, I would be concerned about not addressing height and setbacks as part of the conditional use.
the height will be addressed in the area variance motion.
I understand, it's the conditional use permit is requesting a telecommunications tower at 199 feet.
May I make a suggestion if I could on the motion? So I would suggest the motion be an approval at a max height of 130 with 3 co-locations, which then gives from an area variance, a need for a lot line readjustment relative to that and or consolidation.
I would be more comfortable with a motion such as that if you're approving the telecommunications tower, that you address the height and the requirement to conform with lot line readjustment and or consolidation in order to conform to.
We have 2 applications that we have to vote on. One is the placement of the tower.
And then if you then move on to the variance application, you could then make a decision on those based upon the approval of the conditional use permit. That's kind of what I'm getting at. If you approve the conditional use permit without addressing the height issue, then it creates a little bit of a discrepancy between the decision on the conditional use permit versus the decision on the variance.
We vote on the area variance first. Does that satisfy your concerns?
It really needs to be addressed in
Because the area, the height determines the length of the lot.
Correct.
So that's why.
Yeah, I would be more comfortable addressing the conditional use permit first and then the variance, because I think the conditional use permit will inform your variance request. And the reason why I get that is because we do have some discrepancy within the record about the number of co-locations, so they've asked for 3 co-locations, so I would just want to make sure that that's clear as part of the approval, that the approval is conditioned upon 3 co-locations, and that the will of the board is a max height of 130 feet for the resolution. I would make that part of the conditions as well.
Do you like me to make a motion?
Sure.
So, I would like to make a motion to approve with the following conditions. As the applicant stated, they are, looking for 3 co-locations. So that would be a condition with a max height according to our zoning regulation of 130 feet for those 3 locations. And as a result of that, a lot line readjustment or consolidation should be done. And there should be an inspection for structural integrity of the structure as well.
Do I have a second?
Oh, well, Mr. Chairman, make sure I got all of these down. Who would you want the verification of structural integrity given to? Zoning inspector?
Zoning inspector.
Okay, so I have at least 4 conditional use permit with following 4 conditions approved with 3 co-locations, maximum height of 130 feet for those 3 co-locations. A lot line consolidation and or readjustment to conform the zoning setback to conform to the township zoning requirements, and inspection for structural integrity of the telecommunications tower to be provided to the zoning inspector. Correct, accurately. Summarize those.
Yes.
So, anything else?
Does there need to be a time frame for the inspection to occur?
That's up to the board.
Is it-
I would like to see a timeframe put into that.
Within how many days of, I mean, you can also ask for a certificate of completion from, you get the structural integrity report and a certificate of completion from the building department as well.
Yeah, I would like to add a certificate of completion on the building permit.
You want to say within,
What's the industry standards?
off the top of my head, I don't know, but
60 to 90 days, is that reasonable?
we can put that in there and build some flexibility in, with the zoning inspector if they need additional time to do that.
So can you read the motion back? While Chris is working on our motion wording, I would like to remind the board, since we're now voting on area variance, that we should be considering section 32.04 for area variances. Our consideration should be for the application for an area variance. A, whether the property in question will yield a reasonable return, or whether there can be any beneficial use of the property without a variance, whether the variance is substantial, whether the essential character of the neighborhood would be substantially altered, or whether adjoining properties or the comprehensive plan for the community would suffer a substantial detriment as a result of the variance, whether the variance would adversely affect the delivery of governmental services, whether the property owner purchased the property with knowledge of the zoning restrictions, whether the owner's predicament feasibly can be alleviated through some method other than a variance, whether the spirit and intent behind the zoning requirements would be observed and the substantial justice done by granting the variance, and citations from Duncan versus Middlefield, 1986, 23 Ohio State, 3D 83. Chris, are you able to read back the motion?
Yes, and then the only other issue, did you guys want to address the lease with the school?
Getting a valid ground lease,
Yes.
a legally valid ground lease.
Yes.
Yes, I'd like to add that as a condition. Representation of a legally valid ground lease as a condition.
And also to be, I would assume to be provided to the zoning inspector.
Yes.
So what I have is a motion to approve the conditional use permit application BZA 25-002 with following conditions. One, the tower is approved with 3 locations. 2, the maximum height of the approved tower shall be 130 feet for those 3 locations in conformance with the Burnham Township zoning resolution. 3, the applicant shall cause a lot line consolidation and or readjustment to be made to the subject parcel to conform the zoning setback to township zoning requirements, since all of these surrounding parcels, the parcels surrounding the tower, are owned by the Olentangy Local School District. Condition 4, applicant shall cause an inspection of the finished tower for structural integrity that shall be provided to the zoning inspector within 60 to 90 days of completion of construction, unless that time frame is reasonably extended by the zoning inspector. The applicant shall provide a certificate of completion from the Delaware County Building Department within 60 to 90 days of completion of construction of the telecommunications tower, unless reasonably extended by the zoning inspector. The applicant shall provide a legally valid ground lease incorporating all provisions of the existing ground lease agreement and the amendment after the adoption of the resolution of determinations by the Olentangy Local School District Board of Education as required by Ohio law. And the applicant shall provide that comprehensive ground lease to the zoning inspector within 90 days of approval of the conditional use permit. That's what I've got.
And that is a motion by Vice Chair Jason Acevedo for BZA 25-003. Is that correct, Jason?
Correct.
No.
002.
We're on 002.
Oh,
25-002.
actually, one more thing I know you guys delivered about. Do you want to address safety? Anything about you want to address that? No. Okay.
So we're making this motion for 002 and 003?
No.
This is
We're
002.
talking about 2.
This is 002. This is the conditional use permit.
So
Motion on the
yes,
floor.
that's for 00. To answer your question.
We have a motion on the floor for 25-002. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Sorry, was it Jason?
And just, can I modify that motion? I want to make sure that this motion incorporates the findings of fact that were adopted for BZA 002 along with these conditions. So that's the motion that I would make. The motion approves this subject to the findings of fact included at BZA Exhibit BZA Z, and the conditions that we stated.
Jason, could you revise your motion?
Sorry about that.
So, for BZA 25002, I'd like to amend the prior motion to include an inclusion of the findings of facts
For this application,
for this application, and,
the 6 conditions that were previously stated.
I'm sorry?
The 6 conditions that were
Yeah,
previously
and
stated.
the 6 conditions that were stated prior.
I will again second that motion.
Mr. Acevedo?
Yes.
See, Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Mrs. Cook?
Yes.
Mr. Mackin?
Yes.
And Mr. Sutton?
Yes. Okay. BZA 25-003, are we able to use the same motion? Or do we need to amend?
I would do a separate motion as a separate application. So, again, I think this is, since you've approved the conditional use permit, subject to the conditions that requires them to conform to the zoning requirements, and the fact that they've, I think one of the criteria that Duncan factors is, were they aware of these zoning requirements at the time that they acquired the property or proceeded with the project, which they didn't know on where they were. But I don't believe they would any longer need the variances. Since presumably, pursuant to the approval of the conditional use permit, they would be in compliance with the zoning resolution.
Do I have someone that would like to make a motion on BZA 25-003?
Sure, I can enter a motion for BZA 25003.
And again, this would incorporate the findings of fact.
I would make a motion to approve both conditions, the 6 conditions. I'm sorry.
I think you would deny the variance requests. I think you would deny the variance requests as unnecessary with the approval of the conditional use permit. Because they were asking for a height variance to 190 feet. You've approved it to 130. And you approved
Got it.
the lot line. You approved the lot line.
Got
You approved the conditional use permit condition upon the conforming to the setback with the lot line adjustment and or consolidation. So they would no longer need the variance for that either. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I read, because we approved it on the conditional side. So,
But I would still incorporate the findings of fact as part of your decision.
so make a motion to deny BZA 25003, based on the findings of facts, in conclusion of the law,
And approval of
and the approval of the conditional use on BZA 25002. It's a motion.
Satisfied?
unless the chair has any questions regarding any of the specific requirements under approval of area variances.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that also.
And Mr. Acevedo?
Yes.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Mr. Mackin?
Yes.
Mrs. Cook?
Yes.
Mr. Sutton?
Yes. Thank you to the board for your consideration and time on these 2 applications that come before us. Chris, if you could make sure any documents that you signed or turned in.
Yeah, it's just I can put that together and have to you this afternoon.
Get those signed.
Well, actually, since we're incorporating the transcript, you want to wait for that. I've asked if she can expedite that in the next week, and she indicated that she could do that. or this week. Friday. Whatever that date is. I keep forgetting this is Sunday. You can do it by Friday. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, so what I'll do is I'll attach the findings back to the decision forms, and then I'll attach the transcript of proceedings for today that outlines those conditions.
Thank you.
Submit them to you.
The board has one other item of business, and that is electing a chairperson and a vice chairperson for 2026. I would just like to thank each of you for your time on the board. It's been nearly 20 years that I've served on this board. So Jason, or Jessica and Gwen, I sat out there for about 5 years or longer as an alternate. Thank you for your time in doing that, and I hope it's an educational process for you. I would urge you guys, and I didn't do it enough, but there are some trainings that are in place for zoning appeals. The challenge of this board is we can't meet other than just being in a meeting, so it's hard to do training or discussion amongst ourselves. So I'll take advantage of that in the future. But after this election, I will resign my position and as BZA chair.
Mr. Chairman, just one point of clarification, since you are leaving effective January 31st, I want to make sure that we get it to you, these decisions for the tower code things signed by you by January 31st. So December 31st, I'm sorry. Again, my brain is at the end of the year. So
Yeah.
by December 31st, so the court reporter has indicated she'll get the transcript to me by the end of the day, hopefully on December 30th, so that I can then get them over to you on the 31st and she can sign it.
Thank you. So yes, I will resign effectively December 31st, and look forward to starting January 1st as your new township trustee. With that, I would ask if there are nominations for chairperson for 2026.
I would like to nominate Jason Acevedo as chair for 2026.
And I would like to second that. Are there other nominations?
Okay, Mr. Cook,
Yes.
Mr. Sutton,
Yes.
Mr. or Mrs. Cook,
Yes.
Mr. Market,
Yes.
and Mr. Acevedo.
Yes.
Congratulations, Jason. I took over from Mike Morrow, who was, I think he was the BZA chair for over 20 years. So just become the third trustee or third BZA chair in the last 30 years. So congratulations, and I know you do a great job for us. We also have to elect a vice chairperson for 2026. And I would ask if there's nominations for that position.
I would like to nominate Mrs. Cook.
I will second.
And we can always nominate Larry for not showing up. But I think you would do a great job as vice chair, would be my only comment before we take a vote. But I would ask if anyone else would, are there nominations? If not, I think we have a very good candidate, and would ask to call the roll for a vote.
Sure. Mr. Acevedo,
Yes.
Mr. Market,
Yes.
Mr. Cook,
Yes.
and Mr. Sutton,
Yes.
and Mrs. Cook.
Yes.
Congratulations. I thank you all for your time. Congratulations, Michelle, as well. I know you'll do a great job. That now leaves the board with a vacancy for a second alternate. I guess you'll be moving up to sitting on the board here regularly. If you have friends or neighbors in the township, please let them know that we are looking for a BZA alternate. I believe there's also a vacancy on the BZC. So if you know of someone that might be interested in that position, please pass that along. Any other discussion before the board?
No, I didn't realize it was 20 years, Tom. Hopefully I live that long.
I think I actually had hair when I started on the board, so I wouldn't blame it on that. So, well, thank you, and with that, I will close my last BZA meeting. Thank you.
I think it's just-